Hi learners, welcome to the Learning Atrium. In this video, we look at the answers for CBSE Class 10 Science NCERT textbook questions. The chapter number is 1 and the title is Chemical Reactions and Equations. Now let us look at in-text questions in page number 6. The first question is, why should a magnesium ribbon be cleaned before burning in air? We all know that magnesium is a metal. When magnesium is exposed to air, it forms a layer of magnesium oxide. This magnesium oxide does not burn easily. This layer of magnesium oxide must be removed using a sandpaper. This removal exposes magnesium again so it can be burned easily. Now we move on to question number 2 in page number 6. Write the balanced equation for the following chemical reactions. The first subdivision we have here is, we have hydrogen which is reacting with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. We look at the left hand side, we have two hydrogens. So to balance that, we put a 2 here, which makes the chlorine also 2, which is already 2 on the left hand side. So this reaction is balanced, and we'll move on to the second reaction, which is barium chloride BaCl2 reacts with aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 thrice to give barium sulfate BaSO4 plus aluminum chloride. First we look at barium. So we have barium 1 on both the sides. Then we look at chlorine. Chlorine on the left hand side we have 2 atoms, whereas on the right hand side we have 3. What we do is we interchange these numbers. This 3 here on the right hand side and 2 on the left hand side, we interchange. We put a 2 here so that chlorine becomes 6 on the right hand side, and we take this 3 over here and put it here. That makes 6 chlorines on the right hand side, left hand side also. Now if you look at barium has become 3 now. So to balance that, we put a 3 here, which takes care of barium also. And when we look at sulfate, we have a sulfate ion here, and with this 3 it has become 3 sulfate ions, and this also is 3. So the whole reaction is taken care of for balancing. So the third reaction that we have is sodium reacting with water to form sodium hydroxide NaOH plus hydrogen H2. Sodium is balanced, but when we look at hydrogen, it looks like we have 2 hydrogen on the left hand side, whereas there are 3 hydrogens on the right hand side. So we go for the even numbers, so we put a 2 on the left hand side before H2O, which makes the hydrogen count to 4. To balance that, on the right hand side we put a 2 before NaOH, which makes the hydrogen atoms to balance. But when you look at sodium, we have 2 on the right hand side now, so we have to put a 2 on the left hand side to balance sodium. Now all these 3 reactions are balanced. Now we have come to the last question in page number 6. Write a balanced chemical equation with state symbols for the following reactions. So we have 2 reactions here. We look at the first reaction, solutions of barium chloride and sodium sulfate. So barium chloride BaCl2, so solution we have to mention AQ, and sodium sulfate Na2SO4 aqueous again, both in water. So they react to give insoluble barium sulfate, so it should be solid, and barium sulfate is BaSO4, and the solution of sodium chloride. So sodium chloride NaCl AQ. Now we'll go to the balancing part. We see that barium is balanced, sulfate is also balanced. So you don't say sulfate all the time. We look at sulfur separate, which is just one atom on both the sides, and 4 oxygen atoms on both the sides. That leaves us only with sodium and chlorine. So we have 2 sodiums on the left hand side and only 1 sodium on the right hand side. So to balance that, we put a 2 here, which makes chlorine also 2, which is taken care of on the left hand side as well. So with this we have balanced equation number 1. Now we move on to equation number 2, where we have sodium hydroxide, again a solution, so it is AQ in water, reacts with hydrochloric acid in water, so HCl AQ, to produce sodium chloride solution NaCl AQ plus water H2O liquid. If you look at the equation for balancing, sodium 1 atom on both the sides, oxygen 1 atom on both the sides, hydrogen is 2 atoms on the left hand side, and here also it is 2 atoms, and chlorine is 1 atom on both the sides. So this equation is also balanced. So we have balanced both the chemical equations, and we have written the state symbols for each equation. I hope that the video was helpful. Thank you for visiting Learning Atrium.